I just thought about it right now, with all this, Black Lives Matter, the movement, and all these killings going on with police officers killing black people. It got me to think about the Black Panthers during Tupac's time, like in the 1990s. And a lot of the things that he's rapping about back then is exactly the stuff that's going on right now. And he was a part of the Black Panther movement, and a lot of the people back there that were strong black leaders were a part of that Black Panther movement. And there, during that time, a lot of the Black Panthers were being investigated by the FBI, and like a lot of them were getting killed off. A lot of those leaders, the government was really on them. And today, rather than Black Panthers, it's basically like the Black Lives Matter movement. And to me, it's very similar. They're trying to fight for equality and justice, and to not be killed and slayed by the police. And you gotta think about it. Back then, in the 1990s, there was not the type of technologies that there are today. There wasn't even the internet. I mean, they're using like tape cassettes, and eventually they just started using CDs. But there wasn't the amount of video recorders that they have today. They didn't have the type of cell phone technologies that they had today. Back then, they're still using pagers. Now, everybody's using cell phones, and every single cell phone usually has a camcorder, to record events. And then now with the Facebook, things are being live streamed, and even on YouTube, things are being live streamed. So a lot of these injustices are being filmed live, and then you get to see it with your own eyes, and you see that, hey, this is real injustice. Like, this is a real murder that's going on by the hands of the police officers. But back then, these murders were going on, under the covers. You know what I mean? Like, these things were all hidden, and the truth was hidden. And there is murders of black people back then just as much, if not more, than there is today. But the thing is, there was no technology, there was no camcorders, there's no Facebook, no YouTube, no social media to prove what's going on out there in the streets. So then what ended up happening, these Black Panthers and these people that are, being suppressed and eliminated and murdered by the hands of the corrupted police, it all goes unrecognized, and nothing happens. There's no change. But now it's different. Now, instead of the Black Panthers, it's the Black Lives Matter. Now, the people, the minorities, the blacks can fight back with evidence, with technology, videos showing actual footage of people getting killed unlawfully. The people getting murdered by police officers. And the evidence is right before your eyes. You see it. It's not just a witness anymore. Now, this is video evidence that's getting distributed all over the world through social media, and people all over the world get to see these videos and what's going on out there. And then you got celebrities that are commenting all over the world about what's going on. You got the President of the United States talking about it. You got the U.S. Justice Department investigating the situation. And it's because of technology that has allowed the minorities, and specifically the blacks, to fight back with these social injustices and this type of racism out there. So everything that Tupac was talking about back then was true. It's just that back then there was no technology for him to prove what was going on. He just had to bring it into the recording studio and rap about it. And then he would see these injustices. But his way of fighting back was through music, and gathering up an audience and support through his audience to protest. So I see a lot of similarities, and I'm glad that technology is being used as a tool to fight back. Because even with that girlfriend of the person that got killed in his own car for for having a broken tail light. Got shot 4 times because he had a broken tail light. And then his girlfriend filmed his death, and then she filmed the police officer still pointing the gun at the guy when he's not even a threat anymore. He's already just bleeding to death, and the police officer still pointing the gun at him. I mean, she used technology as a way to fight back. Rather than physically fighting back the officer out of anger or grabbing a gun and trying to shoot the officer. No, she fought back with technology by recording what was going on. And that was very powerful. It might not have saved her boyfriend's life, but it could save another person's life in the future, and it could make some definite changes for how these officers handle these types of situations. And that's in my eyes, like, when it comes to corrupted law enforcement, the only way that you can really fight back is through the use of technology. Just filming the injustices that are going on, and then basically publicizing it, sharing it to everybody out there, and to let the people decide whether or not this is lawful or unlawful, or this is something that should not be going on. I'm all about making change, and protesting is a good thing, but we had to approach it, at the right way, and I think technology is the right way to do it. You could protest in person, or you could protest through technology, sharing videos, sharing your thoughts, speaking up against these types of injustices, in order to influence and encourage a change. Because without these videos, without the video showing these individuals getting killed by the police, by the hands of the police, none of this would be going on. None of these protests would be going on. No changes would happen. The cycle of corruption would just continue on, year after year after year. But the more that we film these injustices, and the more injustices that are accumulated, the more evidence that's shown to the people, the more that we'll identify there's a systematic problem within the police departments all across the nation that needs to be fixed. And there's definitely racism, that needs to be fixed. And everybody needs to pay attention to this, and we need to make a change. So you can't. I hope that the people and the government know better than to try to label the individuals involved in the Black Lives Matter, to label them as evil people or criminals, like they tried to do to the Black Panthers. I hope that people will realize that, hey, everybody that's supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement are people that are trying to push for equality and change towards justice. And these videos are there to prove it. These videos are there to prove that something seriously wrong is going on that needs to be fixed.